poppin'? Welcome back to I Do It Myself. So yes, 50 Cent and Ja Rule again. This has been going on not longer than. But if you talk about great rivalries, Coke and Pepsi, Ja Rule 50. Ken and Ryu, Ja Rule 50. Lakers Celtics, Ja Rule 50. Sub-Zero and Scorpion, Ja Rule 50. I mean, if you was born in 2000, right? By the time you was 10, and by the time you was 7, you probably could understand everything that was going on with Ja Rule 50. By the time you was maybe 7, if you was into hip hop. But by the time you was 10, they still was beefing. By the time you was 20, they still was beefing. And this year, you gonna be 25. Damn, year 2000 is 25 years ago. And they still beefing. So Ja Rule was on the Breakfast Club recently. And, he was talking. Obviously, they're going to ask him about Irv Gotti, man. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. You know what I mean? My heart goes out to his family, and his friends because, he was a great guy to the ones that loved him. But 50 is never going to let go. And, I mean, this is never going to change. This has been going on for so long that we don't know how it ends. We've seen how it started, but we don't know how it ends. I mean, I think at this point, as these men get older up in years, it's about who's going to get sick first, who going to pass first. Like that's what they really in the race for at this point. Because I don't think that either one of them is going to do anything to one another. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know, I mean, let's just catch you up on a little bit of the story. 50 Cent made How to Rob. The beef is not over How to Rob. It was some Southside Jamaica Queens politics. Irv and them was running around with Supreme. According to 50, Supreme was extorting Irv Gotti and Ja Rule. They said that they were friends with him. Pressure kept going on because 50 got into it with Ja because somebody, first and foremost, 50 was going to Preem and saying, yo, why you running with them? And he not, we from the same hood, you supporting him and not supporting me from 50's standpoint. Then Ja, as he's doing his thing, Ja gets, his chain taken from him. Situation happens where he gets the chain back, I believe. But 50 is in the club with the dude who took Ja's chain. Ja sees 50. 50 trolling, goes to dap him. You know what I mean? They get into it there. Then you have the situation in Atlanta. They get into it in Atlanta. Then you got the situation in Hit Factory where it was allegedly a knife came out and 50 got poked and bunch of stuff. Then 50 gets shot after that. And I'm not going to lie, man. To me, 50 Cent got the greatest story in hip-hop history. I mean, the greatest story of the come-up ever in hip-hop history. I don't think anybody has a better story because this man was shot 9 times and his face all over his body, left for dead, and he survived. And when he survived, he came back with a vengeance. Hit records, big albums, and a lot of trolling and a lot of antagonizing. Now, get this. I'm from New York. I'm from Harlem. They from Queens, but I think Ja's from Hollis. 50's from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I'll tell y'all, for the people who don't know nothing about New York, Harlem and Queens is 2 different worlds. Think about wherever you live and think about an hour and a half away from there. You don't know what's happening on that block every day. You don't know what's going down. So a lot of people try to group us all in because we all from New York and say, oh, no, it's New York. New York is not just New York. New York is segregated by blocks and boroughs. In Harlem, uptown don't mess with downtown. East side don't mess with west side. This side of the street don't mess with that side of the street. It gets that deep. When it comes to New York, Brooklyn and Bronx and Harlem have a very, very weird but great relationship because we so close to each other. And I think the same goes for Queens and Brooklyn. Now, when I was in high school, Brooklyn, I had a great relationship with Brooklyn dudes. You know what I'm saying? Great relationship with Brooklyn dudes, but Brooklyn dudes is the ones you got to watch. I ain't gonna front. They'd be on the moon. You'd be on a space excursion on the moon and somebody tells somebody from Brooklyn to do something, they be like, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm not doing none of that. You feel me? So Queens and Brooklyn had their own thing. Can't tell you too much about how it is on a day-to-day because I've only been in Southside Jamaica, Queens maybe 4 times in my life, and it wasn't for over 3 hours. But anyway, Ja visited the Breakfast Club and, he was talking about 50 when 50 posted the picture, saying, smoking on that Irv pack, laugh out loud and how he felt. Let's watch that and then we'll come back and get into more of how I feel regarding what Josh said.
You know, he did the Irv smoking on the, you know, I'm like.
How did you feel about that when you saw it?
Of course, nobody likes all this goofy shit, but it's goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm not, you know, Preem said it best. You know, I spoke to Preem the other day. He's, you know, Preem has always got the right words and shit and the right things to say. Cause I was hot. You know what I'm saying? I was hot. I was ready to go nuclear and shit. But you know, I said, you know, so I spoke to Preem anyway. And Preem said, yo, he said, you know, Rule. He said, here's what you got to understand about who we are and what we are. He said, we are masters of self-defense. And I said, I love that. I said, because I don't want to start trouble, make trouble with people. You know, but if we got to get into it, make it, I'll fucking end it. I'll put it to where it go. I'll take it to the next. You know, so that's why I'm like, you know what? That is the best description of what I am and who I am as a man that I could ever think about. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who we are as men. Mm-hmm. We're here to protect our families, protect our homes, defend our honor, our names, our reputation. That's what we're here. I'm not here to be a bully and bother people. I'm not. That's not what I'm here to do. But I am a master of self-defense.
Yes. Now let's talk about this whole Ja thing, because while Ja went up there and said what he said, he contradicted himself. In the same breath of him saying, if we got to get into it, I'll take it there, I'll take it to the next. He's saying, well, I got to be here for my family, I got to be here for... Now, let me tell you something when it comes to 50 Cent and Ja Rule. Neither one of these is thinking about their families at all. Never was, never will when it comes to their situation. From 50's standpoint, I understand if you cool with somebody who tried to take my life or tried to cause me any sort of bodily harm and did cause me bodily harm, and I survived it. Like I don't think I would ever be able to let that up either. There comes a point in time as a man, though, when you go through certain things and you go through life, that I just expected. When I was growing up, I thought that like men not got over things, but learned how to live with it. I think that 50's coping mechanism to dealing with his trauma is traumatizing everybody else. So another reason why I said Ja, contradicted himself is because he got on Twitter. And again, for these men to be damn near 50 years old, and while everybody would say, man, these kids, they always on social media. They always talking crazy. We ain't do that in our era. We ain't do that in our time. We don't do that type of That is a lie. If Tupac Shakur could have went on IG Live, we'd have got the craziest content on the planet. If Max B could have been on IG Live, we'd have got crazy. If ODB, listen, if I really believe while I grew up in that golden era time and all of that, if they would have had social media, it'd have been way worse than today. It'd have been way worse than today. Could you imagine Fat Joe after he said he robbed an entire lunchroom, him going on saying that he's not going on IG Live? Stop it, man. Kids, we deal with the social media of our day. Social media for my era, I mean, we did have social media. We had AOL chat rooms. We had the AOL chats, Yahoo chat rooms. We had Black Planet, you know what I'm saying? We had the party lines. You had all type of ways for us to socialize, but we went to parties. That's how we got out. We was outside, we was at parties. For these guys, I wasn't in the music industry back then, but I truthfully believe if any of them would have had social media back then, they would have been worse than they are today because they doing the same shit right now. So Ja Rule goes on Twitter. He says he got shot 9 times and did nothing. Stop glazing this clown. Then he asked 50 Cent and says, nigga, you are a used car salesman. Everything you do is trash. One good album after that, trash liquor, trash TV shows, trash, I said it, trash. How many times you gonna make the same show? That Coke stepped on, parenting trash, character trash. You the garbage man. Ja, stop it. I know you don't like him, but the television that 50 has done is not trash. Like, we not gonna do that. We're not gonna go that far. I think that Get Rich or Die Trying, that movie was trash. I think that it could have been depicted way better. A lot of people love that movie, but most people I talk to about that movie never read 50's book pieces. The book is way better than the movie. But Ja is still going on. He asked 50 again and says, from now on, your name Boo Boo. That's what they called you on the streets, right? Laughing my ass off. Boo Boo the fool. 50 is a street nigga from Brooklyn. You Boo Boo from Queens. MC Gusto, CB4 ass nigga. I mean, look, y'all. Like, how? Come on, yo. I think both of them have some sort of level of delusion as to how they deal with one another. 50 and Ja are like Batman and Joker. Joker does not want to kill the Batman, nor does Batman want to kill the Joker, because it gives both of them purpose. It gives both of them sense of meaning, sense of their reality. I think their reality is that they kind of soul tied. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be funny. They soul tied, man. If something was to happen to Ja Rule, 50 would not stop. And if something was to happen to 50, Ja wouldn't stop. And while we look at that from a standpoint of, nah, you know, it's not that serious, what would they do without each other? Now, again, like I said, we get on the young dudes that's beefing, the young dudes, we tell them stop the violence. Let me tell you something. The violence will never stop. It's never going to stop, because you see what age doesn't grant maturity. Now, I can't tell nobody how to feel, because I'm going to keep it a band. I'm so petty. It's a dude that I have a problem with. I had a problem with him back in the day. And if I ain't even going to say it. Let me not speak no negativity on my platform, because I don't want to do that, y'all. But anyway, this is, I mean, 50 goes, then 50 goes on Instagram and he says, the Breakfast Club should be ashamed of themselves asking questions that perpetuates violence. This fool been getting ready to go nuclear for 22 years. Laugh out loud. Your man in runts, right? Your man in my runts right now. I mean, 50 doesn't even smoke, but, you know, he's just using the diss of the day, of the time that we in. And are y'all not entertained? I mean, for myself, I get a little bit annoyed with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish that there was a day where Ja Rule and 50 would be friends at all, because that's not going to happen, especially when you come from the streets. But I just do think that, like, man, waking up every day is a blessing. But I guess playing on social media is a blessing too. This is I Do It Myself. I'm Wayno. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this Ja Rule 50 Cent situation. I think that they both out of pocket. I think that it's never gonna end. And at this point, we're just fighting. We're just now waiting to see who goes first. Cause that's what each one of them are waiting for. Unfortunately. I catch y'all on another one. Peace.